Sarah's hands trembled as she tightened her apron, the scent of burnt coffee clinging to her clothes. It was Emily's birthday, but there'd be no balloons, no candles, just leftover toast, and the way her daughter hugged her tighter than usual. At the diner, the neon buzzed overhead like a warning. Tara sat in her usual booth, already loud. "Did your kid wrap that apron for you?" She sneered, lips curled. A few truckers chuckled. Sarah didn't flinch, just smiled barely. Nikki rolled her eyes from behind the counter, muttering, "Ignore her." Then the bell rang. He stepped in scruffy, worn jacket, long hair like he hadn't seen a mirror in weeks. He didn't belong, and yet he didn't flinch either. Sarah approached. "Welcome to Starlight. What can I get you?" His eyes met hers, steady, kind. "Black coffee. Pancakes, please." That voice, gentle, low. Her breath caught, coming right up, but something in her chest didn't let go. The pancakes hit the grill as Sarah wiped her palms on her apron, trying to steady her breath. Her heart still beat strange from that first look. His voice too calm, his eyes too steady. She kept moving, kept pouring coffee, but her mind stayed at booth 4. Tara's voice cut through like a dull knife. "Still playing pretend? You're not getting out of this place." The words echoed louder than the diner's clatter. A few regulars chuckled without much thought, just following her lead. Sarah didn't respond, didn't break stride, but her cheeks flushed. Her dignity was her silence, and it stung sometimes. Keanu hadn't said a word, hadn't looked up, but something about the way he stirred his coffee said he'd heard it all. He didn't react, and yet he did. His stillness shifted something. Sarah could feel him watching, not with judgment, but like he understood things without needing to ask. In her mind, scenes flickered like static. Emily tracing stick figures under a sun and whispering, "Is love enough if we can't buy things?" Sarah couldn't answer then. She couldn't now. Rent was overdue again. The last envelope she tore open had an eviction notice. She hadn't cried in front of Emily. She saved that for the supply closet behind the fryer, the one place no one looked for spilled tears. Sarah slid Keanu's plate onto his table, refilled his coffee with hands steadier than she expected. "You're good at this," he said quietly, eyes still on her. "At what?" Her voice cracked before she caught it. "Seeing people," he said. Then he smiled, not wide but real. She blinked, unsure how to hold that kind of kindness. Nikki leaned over to James at the pass-through. "He's weird," she muttered, "but maybe not the bad kind." Something shifted. Not loudly, but enough. A few tables down, Tara still held court, tossing her hair like she owned the air. "Guess Sarah's flirting with drifters now," she laughed. Sarah bit her tongue. The laughter didn't land the same this time. The shift ended in a blur of orders and half-hearted tips. When she finally turned back to clean Keanu's table, he was gone. But under the coffee mug, something waited. An envelope. Her name in clean pen strokes. Laughter again. Tara grinning. "What is it? A coupon for soap?" Sarah didn't answer. She tucked the envelope into her apron pocket, careful, quiet. But her fingers trembled. Her heart raced. Was this a joke? A trick? Or something real? The diner had thinned. Plates cleared, stools emptying. The neon above buzzed softer now, like even the sign was winding down. Sarah stood behind the counter, hands still damp from wiping tables, staring at the envelope like it might bite. Her breath caught. One glance to Nikki, who nodded once firm. Sarah slipped it open. Inside, a folded note. The ink neat. A check tucked inside. The numbers too big to process at first. Her eyes darted to the words. "For Emily's wishes. Keep shining. You're enough. Keanu Reeves." She blinked, then blinked again. Nikki leaned in, peering over. "What is it?" Sarah held out the note with shaking fingers. Nikki read, then gasped. "Keanu who?" Her voice pitched up, raw. James popped his head from the kitchen, wiping his hands. Wait, that guy was Keanu Reeves. His jaw dropped. Laughter tried to fill the air again. Tara's voice, desperate now. Probably fake. Bounce check or some PR stunt. But something cracked in her tone. Customers didn't laugh this time. One pulled out a phone, snapped a photo. Another whispered, "Google him." Look at the eyes. That's him. The shift was almost invisible, but real. Tara blinked, suddenly smaller. Nobody's that nice, she mumbled, clutching her cup too tight. Her voice, once the loudest in the room, dissolved in silence. Sarah didn't speak. She held the note like it was glass. He knew about Emily. Her voice cracked, and the tears came slow full. She didn't hide them. Not this time. She left the diner, with the envelope clutched tight. Didn't wait to clock out. Didn't care. The cold air outside bit her face, but her hand stayed warm. Home was dim, quiet. Crayon drawings scattered across the floor. Emily sat cross-legged, humming, drawing two stick figures under stars. "Mommy, you're early," she squealed. Sarah knelt, eyes brimming. "Got a surprise, princess." She handed over the note, barely able to speak. Emily read aloud, slowly. "For Emily's wishes. Keep shining. You're enough." She gasped. "This is for me?" Sarah nodded, laughing through the tears. "And this," she held out the check, "means we're going to Texas." Emily's eyes lit like morning. "Grandma's house," she cried, throwing her arms around her mother. "We're really going?" she asked, breathless. Sarah whispered back, "We are." Emily pulled back, squinting. "Is he a fairy godfather or something?" Sarah laughed, heart full. "Maybe he's magic." And for the first time in years, it felt true. The Texas sun stretched long across the porch as Sarah sat quietly, her arms around a warm mug, and her heart still trying to catch up with the whirlwind. Emily lay nearby on a blanket, sketching stars, pancakes, and a tiny stick figure with long hair and a beard. Laughter danced from her lips like it had always been there. Sarah watched her daughter, breathing deep. Could joy be real? She wondered. Could it stay? Was she even allowed to believe again? The breeze carried memories of neon lights and burnt coffee, of laughter that cut and kindness that healed. Back at the diner, things were shifting too. Tara wiped down tables in silence. No sneers, no snark, just slow movements and a soft glance toward the tip jar. Nikki caught it first. "Who are you?" she asked, eyebrows raised. Tara shrugged. "Just someone trying," she muttered, dropping a folded bill into the jar. Kindness had started rippling outward. Nikki moved by it, taped up a board behind the register. "Pay it forward," where anyone could cover a coffee or a meal. James flipped a fresh batch of cornbread, voice low but sure. "Gonna own my own place one day," he said, pride rising in his chest. The air at Starlight had changed. Tweets trended. Photos spread. Posts flooded in. Starlight got Keanu'd. Meanwhile, back on the porch, Sarah leaned her head against the wall, watching Emily drift into sleep. In the corner of the living room sat a small wooden frame. Inside, Keanu's note. "You're enough." She stared at it, unsure how one sentence had steadied her more than years of struggling ever had. That night, after putting Emily to bed, Sarah pulled out her laptop and registered for online business classes. Her dream, a bakery with windows full of sunshine and shelves full of Emily's favorite sweets, felt possible again. She wasn't chasing miracles. She was building one. The day before their return, Sarah packed slowly. Emily zipped her sketchbook shut, eyes wide. "Do you think Keanu will come to our bakery someday?" Sarah smiled, her eyes wet but bright. Maybe he already did. And maybe he had. Back at Starlight, cornbread sizzled, coffee flowed, and kindness lived on. No headlines. No noise. Just change, real, quiet, and human. Because Keanu's gift was never just a check. It was belief. And in one moment, he rewrote their future. Not with grand gestures or speeches, but with stillness, dignity, and a truth whispered soft. "You're enough." And in that silence, the world changed.